Hey, how we doing, everybody? So today I want to talk for a minute about maintaining wooden cutting boards. And this is something that a lot of people overlook. And you know that when you go to look at them and they have this kind of lighter shade to them, they look dried out, they may even start to crack at times. That's a sure sign that a cutting board has not been maintained. And there's some benefits to doing that. One is, I absolutely love the look of wood and I love the wood grains, and it really makes them stay far more beautiful for longer when you maintain them properly. And I can show you the other side of this one. This top you can see is starting to get a little dried out now. I've used it quite a bit lately. But if you flip it over the other side, this side has been oiled and waxed. And you can see how much deeper those grains are, and it's just beautiful. And it's a much smoother finish to it. It re-moisturizes the wood, which is just fantastic. So usually there's a two-step process here. Today I'm going to start with I have a product called Walrus Oil. It's cutting board oil. It works really, really well. That's what I used on the back side, and I'm going to use that on the top now. And then once that's dry, you follow up with a coat of wood wax as well. And this is a food grade product, and really puts just one more layer of sealant on the wood, and it makes it just absolutely gorgeous. So all sorts of these out on the market. You don't have to look for this brand, but it does do a fantastic job. So before you oil your board, you want to make sure it's really clean. You want to scrub it down good. You want to make sure it's completely dry before you put that oil on there. So I'm going to start by putting a little bit over the top. And you're just going to take a clean cloth and you're going to start to work that around. I like to work in circles, and then I'll switch up directions after a while. And you can see already just how beautiful that wood grain is that's coming out already. Definitely make sure you get down in the grooves really well. Don't want to miss any parts. And make sure you get the edges. And then I'll go back over everything. I'll go in different directions just to make sure I'm getting it all in the grain. And it looks like I got a pretty good coat on there now. So I am going to let that dry. And then once that's dry, we'll come back and we'll put a coat of the wood wax on it. All right, so this board has dried out now. The oil has absorbed into the wood grain really, really well. There's nothing left on top that's very wet. And it looks like we're ready to put a coat of the wax on now. Now, if you do this every so often, if you do it periodically every month or every other month, it really does not take long at all to do this. If you let it go for a little too long, it might take a little more oil and a little more wax and elbow grease to get it back up to par. One thing you don't ever want to do, though, is put your wooden cutting boards in the dishwasher. It really will dry them out far more quickly, and because of the heat and that water, it will also make them tend to warp and crack more, which you definitely do not want on a wooden cutting board. So I'm applying a good coat of this wax, and I'm getting it worked in pretty well, just like we did with the oil. You don't want to put so much on, whereas that it feels greasy to your finger, but you want to make sure you get enough on there so it absorbs nicely and you don't feel that coarse texture to the wood any longer. And that's feeling really, really good right now. I think I'm in good shape where I stand. I'm just going to rub a few more times. I've already done the other side. And don't forget your edges as well, because those need to be done. the other side. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So that's all there is to it. This is ready to go. I'm going to let this kind of dry out on its own just for a little bit before I use it. But again, this is something good idea to get in the habit of doing on a monthly or every other month basis, and your cutting boards will last you a complete lifetime, which they should. So thanks very much for watching.